In this video, I will be sharing 5 powerful codes that you can engage to take action, whether you feel like it or not. Have you ever planned to do something and when it's time to get it done, you don't just feel like doing it? Maybe it's going to the gym, maybe it is writing a book or reading a book, maybe it's learning a new skill, starting a side business, or working on an important project. Whatever it is you want to do, have you ever felt the pain and the guilt that comes with not taking action when you know what you want to do is very important? You're not alone. I've felt that severally, and I know how it can feel sometimes, until I found some codes that I have engaged and that's worked for me, and it can work for you. Just as programmers can program a computer to perform specific tasks by the combination of codes, so also you can program yourself to perform specific action by just engaging these codes I'll be sharing. You see, the distance between your dreams and your reality is the actions you are taking. No matter how big or how vast whatever you want to achieve is, the only key to achieving it is you taking action. Think about why you've not been able to achieve what you want to achieve or become who you wish or want to become. It's because wishing is not enough. All right, action is required. But actions are usually difficult because most times the great things we want to do and become in life requires great action, and those things don't come easy. Whatever is great, whatever is worth having and becoming, doesn't come easy. They don't come easy, and that's why sometimes you just have to find a way to push ourselves to take action, whether you feel like it or not. Because this world is not driven by how you feel, it's driven by what you do. So in this video, I'll be sharing 5 powerful codes that you can start practicing today, and it can help you make advancement in line with your dreams and goals. The first action code is create the mood. You see, we humans, we are emotional beings. We are most time driven by how we feel. All right, our emotions usually determine our action. Has it ever happened to you that when it's time to take an action, you say you don't feel like taking it, you're not in the mood for it? All right, so you can create the mood for the actions you really want to take. All right, instead of letting your emotions, your mood work against you, you can ensure, or you can reprogram it or reconstruct it to work for you. So, for example, if I don't feel like writing and I know I really need to write, there are things I do that creates the condition and the mood for writing, and then I end up writing. For example, what I do is that I can read a quote, all right, I can listen to a motivational video, or read some of my past write-ups, and those things just propel me to start writing. So when I found that out, then it's more easier to take action in line with writing. All right, so I also remember when some years ago, when I do work out at home, I noticed that when I don't feel like working out, once I look at the mirror, all right, and look at my body in the mirror, the feeling and the desire to work out just comes, and then I start working out. And so when I noticed those conditions, I became intentional in creating those conditions to ensure I take that action. All right, so think about the conditions that were in place when you took certain actions in the past. All you have to do is to recreate those conditions to take action in the present. All right, so for example, I love praying. I know the importance of praying, but as you all know, and that's happened to you sometimes, when it's time to pray, sometimes you don't feel like praying. But I discovered that anytime I listen to a worship song or listen to a powerful message, I'm usually propelled and pushed to pray. All right, and so I've been able to overcome that by just listening to songs and listening to messages, and then I go into prayers. So also think about an action you want to take, and think about the conditions that you can put in place to take such actions. When it's time to take those actions, I don't feel like, just put those conditions in place. Create a mood. It's like a trigger. In habit formation, it's called trigger. And once the trigger is in place, all right, the action can take place. The second code is to take small, easy steps. You see, the less energy that is required for you to take action, the more propelled or motivated you are to take such actions. All right, it was Mark Twain that said this. He said, the secret to getting ahead is getting started. The secret of getting started is breaking down your complex, overwhelming tasks into small, manageable tasks, then starting on the first one. So you don't take action because you are not motivated to, and you're not motivated to because the actions you are about to take, they are so big and overwhelming that you lose the motivation to even take action. So think about this, all right? Are you trying to probably read a book? What if you can start with just the first 2 or 3 lines? All right. Are you trying to work on a project and be procrastinating? What if you can just tell yourself, you can list out the steps involved in working towards that project or achieving that project, and then start with the first one. Find the simplest and smallest action you can take in line with it, and then get ahead with it. All right. And the most interesting thing about this is that when you can start with the smallest action, you are more motivated to continue most times, because humans are motivated by progress. So when you make progress, you are more propelled to continue taking action. But you won't have made progress if you are not willing to start with the smallest thing. We always want to start with the biggest thing, and then we end up achieving nothing. So change the way you think about the actions you want to take, and find the smallest and the simplest action you can take in line with that goal you are trying to achieve, and then take it, and you see how far you can go. The third code for taking action is what I call enforced deadline. And this is about creating a deadline for whatever action you want to take. You see, humans, we are motivated by 2 things. We are either motivated by the desire for pleasure or the desire to avoid pain. And if you can create a deadline with a painful consequence for not achieving something, most times you end up taking action in line with it. I remember when I was writing my 4th book, that was in 2023 last year, and I knew that I'm already procrastinating, I'm delaying, I'm not taking action in line with writing my book. What I did was to do something, and which is I made a post on Facebook and shared with my followers that my book will be out in October. I gave a date, I can't remember the specific date I gave, but I said it will be out in October. And that time it was in August. So whenever I don't feel like writing the book, because of the deadline, that with a painful consequence, because now people look up to me, and if I fail towards achieving that, like, it affects the way people see me and view me. And to avoid that, all I did was to ensure that I take action in writing the book, whether I feel like it or not. I remember one night when I was writing, I was really tired. Okay, I said, Mordecai, people are waiting for this book. People are expecting this book. You've already said it, that you are going to write this book and publish it on this date. So you must just get this done. And at the end of the day, I was able to achieve that goal. All right. So most time you can think of a deadline and then attach a painful consequence. It can be a financial consequence that, okay, if I don't write it, I'll pay this so amount to you, or something like that. Just think of a painful consequence you can attach to not achieving that goal at that deadline you fixed. It can propel you and motivate you to take action. Think about when you're having an exam, right? Maybe in next 2 days or 3 days. Because of the deadline involved, or maybe an assignment you plan to submit and you have to submit, all right, because the consequence that is attached to you not submitting, you are more propelled to take action towards it. So for you to take action, all right, this code says create a deadline, enforce a deadline, all right, and this pushes you to take action whether you feel like it or not. The 4th code for taking action is what I call anticipate a reward. And it was Jim Clear that said in his book, The Atomic Habit, he said, the anticipation of a reward, not the fulfillment of it, motivates us to take action. So if you can attach a rewarding experience to whatever action you want to take, all right, it can prepare you and motivate you to take action. All right, because don't forget I said that humans are primarily motivated by the desire for pleasure or the desire to avoid pain. So if you can attach a reward to that action, it will push you, all right, because you know, wow, I will get the chance to enjoy this once I can complete this action. All right, so think of any actions you have been procrastinating, all right, and think of a rewarding experience you can attach to that action. And when it's time to take that action, I'm very sure that it will prepare you and push you to act because of that reward that is coming from the actions you are about to take. The fifth and final code is what I call aware, act, reflect. In a book, the 5-second rule, Mary Robbins said this: if you have an instinct to act on a goal, you must physically move within 5 seconds or your brain will kill it. And that's true. Most time our thoughts stops us from taking action. So if you're letting your thoughts inform what you do, you may never really go ahead to take action in line with what you want to do. All right. But as opposed to that rule, she said, this code is about once you are aware of the action you want to take it. Don't think about it, take it. Then after taking the action, then you can now reflect on the actions you have taken to know the lessons from it and how to prepare whenever you have to take the action next time. All right. So think about whatever you want to do. All right. Don't let your thoughts stop you from taking action. Once you are aware of that action, go ahead and take the action. I remember when I was working on something, and then I remember I have not done my number of push-ups for that day. All right. What I did was to immediately I became aware of that, I left what I was doing and did that push-ups, all right, and then get back to it. But when that thought came to me, if I had considered it, if I had imagined or let it influence that action, I wouldn't have gone to do that, go ahead to do that push-up. So once you are aware of the action you want to take, go ahead and take it immediately. Don't even give yourself the time to think about it. Take it, aware, act, and then you can now reflect on the action you've taken. All right, and I'm sure if you can apply these codes I've just shared, I'm sure you'll be able to start taking action in line with your goal. So these codes are part of the 9 action codes I shared in my book, The Action Code. All right, I shared 9 action codes that can help you take action consistently, whether you feel like it or not. And this book is available on Amazon. It's available on Seller. All right, I'll leave the link in the caption of this video, so you can go ahead to check the book out and try out the other codes or even these codes. So let me know what you've learned from this video. Let me know which of these codes you start applying today. All right, don't forget, action is what differentiates your dreams and reality. So whatever you have been procrastinating on, after this video, pick any of these action codes I've just shared and apply it to start taking action in line with your goals.